Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. I am joined by the one and only Mary Mazur. And before I bring in Mary and get to the great topic that she has, if you guys want to use the instant feedback, you can do that. Just give me your name, where you're from. You can ask a question to Mary, and you get your question answered by an expert and be part of the show in that way. Mary, so nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Casey. Thank you for having me on your show today.
Cool. Mary, can you tell the audience a little bit about what you do at the Psyche and everything and your business? And let me give you the floor here.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so I am an igniter here. So what that means is that my role is to ignite my actually true essence of love and light here, being deeply connected with who I really am, which is we are creators of this world. And then I'm meant to also offer that for others. Anyone else who's ready to also be ignited within themselves and remember who they really are, this is the role that I play here and do here. So how I do that is how I was moved to do that. I used to be a birth nurse, so I did that for 26 years and raised a beautiful family with 4 kids. And then my spirit moved me into actually helping people connect at the next highest level of their birthing. So I now help people birth their true essence, birth the love that they actually are, the great beingness creators that they are here. So this is my role, and Psyche helps to do that in a very fast and effective way, an efficient way, by working with the subconscious level of the mind, actually changing those programs, the things that dammed us up, the things that have blocked us and prevented us from living who we really are here. We all agreed to experience the contrast life, especially being born in the 20th century. To see what it's like to live in fear and having things be hard and struggles and get out there and gut it out, right? Yeah, well, now we're the Aquarian age. We left the Pisces age, and now people are being invited into having things become easier and live in the flow and love and light and beauty of this world. And it begins with beginning within ourselves, to do it within our own selves. So this is what I offer at workshops and private sessions.
Yeah, and you do like a 3-day workshop, if I'm correct.
I do. We do. Yes. And I have one coming the end of this month in October. We'll talk more about that in Michigan. And then, also offer an online in November. There's one online. If they want to do a 3, just from their gifts of their own home, they get to access their divinity and their wisdom within themselves to make the changes they're ready for. Yeah.
Okay, Mary, before we get into your great topic today, can you just tell the audience who is the perfect candidate to work with you?
Oh, thank you for that. The ones that are ready, that's the perfect candidate. The ones that are ready to make the changes. They have the courage to make the changes. They're actually are aware that that things are happening and that they don't like, and that they're ready to change them. They don't know how to change them. They don't know what to do, and that's okay. You don't need to know how. They actually have the answers within them. So they're going to be drawn because they're ready. They're ready to actually step into the personal power.
Wow. So it's you have to put the work in, and you have to want to do this. There's no passiveness and change.
Well, exactly. Because we get to do it. That's the whole point. It would be boring if it was already done.
Right.
We wouldn't have any victory lap at all, right? Yeah. We're meant to have a victory lap. We're meant to have woohoo, heck yeah, I changed that part within me. That's the exhilarating part of living. So the gift is it's not that it's not that it has to be hard work, and that's the one beautiful thing to change within yourself. It does not need to be hard. It will be emotional. You're going to be tapping into your emotions, and that's probably the scariest part for people. But guess what? You actually, I haven't lost anybody through this. I'll just say that. So everyone has survived through going through the gateways, okay, which is so beautiful. And actually, they've come out miraculously in all new ways beyond measure, living here, heaven on earth instead of hell.
That's awesome, Mary. Now, Mary, can you tell me what you mean by something you say, admit the damn within you? Admit the damn within you. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, thank you for that. So this is also who I help and assist, is those that actually can step into and actually admit that things aren't working really well for them. Because like what I did with my life is I was taught by my mom to live in denial. My mom was a beautiful woman, raised 12 children, moved 14 times because my dad was a Marine,
Okay.
and danced around the world with a bunch of kids and lovingly did it. And then my dad comes back from Vietnam and starts drinking a ton, and and scaring the crap out of all of us, beating the crap out of a lot of my brothers. I ran, so he couldn't catch me. I was fast. But yet my mom presented the world, and so I received everything that my mom did, and we all do. We receive everything the first 7 years of life, what our moms and dads in our society does, so that we can know how to manage this world. And one of the things I received from my mom, a lot of beautifulness. My mom definitely loved people, and I'm grateful for that. And she also was very selfless and self-sacrificing. So I also embodied that. So I became an overgiver and putting myself last. So that's things that I also brought in to now put my divine self first of whatever my heart's desires are. But what I also created were dams within myself, because I embodied denial, which means just not admitting what's really going on and acting like things are okay. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's good. Okay, yeah. So we're not talking to each other. Like, let's say in a relationship, and this is actually happening in mine right now. So I'm addressing my own self.
Okay.
Is that there's pieces where my husband and I have been married 30 years, but we get to a lot of places where we're not talking about what's really going on. And we're not getting personal and deep about what we're feeling, what we're thinking, what's really going on that we think is going on. And then so we can solve it and come together and address it. No, a lot of us get too scared to even talk about what's really going on because we're afraid what's going to erupt. And a lot of it's our own insecurities and our own a lot of us got embodied the dams that build up within us. Why we don't want to actually address what's really going on is because we're scared of change.
Mm.
You know, if you really address something, then something's going to change, and that's the biggest block. We're like, well, how about we just keep it the same, even if I don't like it, even if we're not really, close with each other, or showing what we really want. We're just gonna, act like everything's okay and just start, faking it, and then just
Right.
not addressing stuff. But what happens is the dam gets bigger and bigger and bigger until something explodes.
I see.
Something will explode. Someone will get a health issue. Someone's going to get really sick. That happened in my family. My husband got leukemia,
Oh, really?
and then, or you get, yeah, things are going to happen. You're going to have emotional triggers, but that's actually the gift, because then you can begin to talk about stuff, and then you begin to address what's really going on and start loosening up that dam so things can flow again. The connections, the flow. And what happens though is that the gift was Psych K. So what I am able to offer across the world, and there's 35 of us across the world, instructors. So I want to honor that too, that there's other instructors. So whichever one you want to connect with, we want you to go with whoever you resonate with.
35? That's it?
Which is good. Just 35 across the whole
That's
world.
incredible.
I know, and we're placed all over the world, which is amazing. And it's like 15 countries, 15 languages that we'll teach in, and it is. But we are strategically placed across the world, and there's only about, I think, 8 of us in America.
Wow.
So I know. So it's very potent and very special. But what Psych K offers is that we don't have to wait until the dam is so blocked with so much resistance that a tsunami has to come in order to rupture it and break it all off. Okay,
Right.
because that's what our old way used to be. It was just don't fix anything until it's broken. You just keep it working, even though it's not working very good. You keep it going until it actually all falls apart.
Right.
Well, how about if you start to notice that things aren't working really well? Maybe we could actually offer ways that it could actually enhance it and bring new beautiful things in so that it can even be better than ever it was before. This is what Psyche offers within our own selves.
Okay. Okay. And is that the major blockage is people are afraid of conflict or afraid of change? Is that
Most likely.
that's
Yep.
pretty much what's holding us back?
Most often, and fear. So add fear in there. So
Mhm.
whatever fear fear is our protector. So we have a reptilian energy, reptilian consciousness in our brain. Okay, so our brain, we have our frontal lobe, which is our creativity and imagination of everything. This is your gateway to create anything in the world that you want. Okay. And then we have our left and right hemispheres, which is pretty fascinating. That our left hemisphere is like our masculine part of us, our right hemisphere is like our feminine part of us, okay? They're meant to work together in a delightful dance here. Most of us don't. We do over one, over the other in different emotional situations, and we actually store our energy and memories in that way. And then we have our reptilian energy, our brain stem in the back that's there to protect us always, because we die here, because there's a time we birth, live, and die. And so it's going to do whatever it can to protect you. It's designed that way. So if you get chased by a lion, your body shifts everything in its chemistry and body to get you to either run, fight, or freeze. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are designed that way. So what'll happen in our situations, in our experiences, is when these triggers of fear come up, it's there serving us. It's there so that we don't die, so that we don't harm ourselves, so that we don't hurt ourselves. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's like, if you're in a really high level, you're going to feel fear because, like, oh my gosh, I could fall down, right? I could fall off the cliff, right?
Right.
It's going to come in where we're like, what? Yeah. So fear is designed to help us, yet we have overcompensated. We have so much fear indented in us because we get programs with the television. The vision keeps sending all the things you see on the television and the programs we get. Watch what you're watching and hear what you're hearing.
Wow.
So you hear
No,
stuff like you and me to talk that's more of love and expansion. So fear also blocks up the dams.
what part would the limiting beliefs be stored in or come from?
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, they're in both the left and right hemispheres. And what happens is that it when we have to access something of a response of something that happens, it will go to that one spot instead of working together. So we actually compartmentalize ourselves, and we actually work from a fragmented part of ourselves instead of our whole essence. What Psyche offers, with every change you make within yourself, you become whole brain to it, which means you get to use all your full response potential. You get to see the whole picture of everything and all the little parts to make the best decision on. So you get both. You return back to your unity, and that's the biggest gift Psyche offers for you, so that you can respond from at the highest level, from your peace, from your love, from your truth, from your knowingness, instead of from fear just to survive.
I see. I see. And so, how do we start our journey on um, uh, undoing the dam?
Yeah, I love it. Perfect. And the best part is to admit it. So that's where that word admit comes in.
Okay.
When you can admit, holy crap, I created a dam within myself. Yes, you did. That's like with my mom, if she could have, and she didn't do it very much. That was just her life experience. But she taught me what not to do. Because when I recognized, I had to admit that, oh my gosh, I go in denial a lot. I act like everything's just fine because I'm a good finder, and I am. I am a good finder, and I can just see the good. So I can just keep on looking at the good, which is a beautiful thing to do. And if you don't address what you don't like, that dam's going to keep building up. So it's important to actually open your eyes and recognize what you don't like, because that's actually there to help you. That's the first step.
Okay. And once we admit the things that maybe that we're afraid of, or that we don't like, that are not okay, do you recommend voicing these if it has to do with like our spouse or our partner or whatever? Do we get right in there without any training or knowing what to do and just say, hey, I feel this way?
Wow, and that's so huge. That's so huge. Well, it's going to happen anyway, and that's the uncomfortable part. Is a lot of people are like, it's going to happen because it's going to burst out. The issue is that most of us will do it when we're in anger.
Ah.
That's usually the gateway that happens for a lot of people, is anger. And anger serves in that way because it gets you to communicate, which is kind of cool. The hard part is because it's a dense energy, it's below 200. So if you want to reference, David Hawkins wrote a book, Power versus Force, and he was a chiropractor. He was able to muscle test the frequencies of everything. Every emotion has a frequency. So 200 is courage, which is positive. Anything below courage, like 199 and below, is all dense energy, constricted energy, like a dam. And there's the lowest part of the dam is shame. It's the lowest part. When you feel shame, that means you feel hopeless. You don't belong. You feel completely separated. You're in shame. That's the toughest one. People don't talk when they're in shame. They don't even have the energy for that. It's so low. But when you start moving up into worry and fear, and then then you get up to anger. Anger has a bunch of energy, so that's where people get explosive and they're gonna share. They're really pissed off about something, right? It's actually meant to be a gateway to cast you into your passion of love, which is above 200, which is who we really are. Most people get dammed up in their anger because they haven't expressed it very much or very well, or learned how to express their anger. So Psyche can help with that too, because you can integrate your anger into your love, so that when you are speaking, you're very passionate in your strength. But instead of from a dense, contracted dam energy of anger, use your breath and you speak in from your love of your highest power, which is the strongest power on this planet. So yeah.
I
So
see.
speaking from your love is the gateway. Learning how to do that is, and being able to be able to transform yourself to be able to do that. Psyche is one of the best ways to do it. Meditation also helps. Breath work helps. There's sound bowl healings. There's other pieces that I use and I love, and even plant medicines. All of it is beautiful. Psyche just helps you to do it in a very fast way, because you get to change your software of your mind. You get to shift the programs. Instead of being in fear, how about you're resonating in love? How about trusting the energy moving through you? Things like that. So you can trust that you can express yourself from your love instead of your anger. So what I do if I get angry, when I get angry, as best I can here, is I feel the anger. Use it. It's there for you. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm pissed off. I can really, especially these last 2 years, all kinds of anger's been coming through me. And I wasn't allowed to express it growing up when I was a little girl. No, because you're like, it can erupt. My brothers start punching each other or something. So
Oh,
we were taught not to express our anger, most of us, because because it can lead to violence for people if they're out of control. So nowadays, let's use the anger, and that's where the self-control comes in, is that being able to feel the anger, processing it's my anger, it's not anybody else's. So I don't need to go spew that on somebody else. Okay?
hmm.
I can process it, receive it, thank it for being here. There's a reason why I'm angry. I feel violated. I don't feel respected. I don't feel loved. I don't feel wanted. I don't feel worthy. These are why we get angry. And then the gift is we can actually change all that within us. And that when you do, the Psyche helps you with that, then I recognize I am worthy. I am wanted. I am loved. I am respected. And others do respect me too. Yeah, then people actually will start treating you better, and your life becomes nicer, and then the anger doesn't need to show up. It's quite
Okay.
fascinating.
Is there any component where the physical can help out in this process, such as exercise, or what do you think about the physical? What part does that play?
Absolutely. And that's the gift. So thank you for that. Every part is important. And I've used as an example my sister Gina, my youngest sister. She's awesome. When she was going through her divorce and changes within her life, she was running triathlons and running marathons and
Oh,
triathlons. That was how her body was able to move that energy. And she also reached out to me with Psyche, which was huge. So doing both, this is the gift. This is where you come in. You don't just need to do one thing, do multiple things. Do what works for you. But she had so much energy going through that helped her with exercise, with moving things, with punching a pillow, throwing rocks. I mean, you can scream, use your voice,
yeah,
out at Mother Nature. Mother Nature recycles everything. You don't have to scream it at people. You can, but there's going to be side effects of that, and
yeah,
that's if you would. The gift you can ask yourself is, do I want someone to do that to me? I don't want someone yelling at me and blaming me and blah,
yeah.
and
Who would?
it
Yeah,
doesn't feel good. It doesn't
right.
feel good. So why would I do that to somebody else? If you can have that awareness, that's above 200, because you're encouraged. When you're above 200, you have the awareness of others. When you're below 200, you don't have awareness of others, and you're just going to yell at people. That's just what you're going to do.
Hmm.
But eventually, you're going to get the aha moment, like, oh my gosh, that I was an asshole there. I was
Yeah.
not nice. Bingo! You're just admitting something. Now you can do something about it. Yeah, and I love qigong and tai chi, so that's what I do. I used to be a marathon runner. I did the same thing as my sister Gina to manage all of that stress and dense energy within me. Now I flow, so now I do qigong and tai chi and yoga and more gentle. So you just meet yourself where you are.
I see. And then talking about the spiritual part, um, what role would that play about someone's faith or
Hmm.
lack of?
Oh, thank you. What a beautiful question. It's actually everything. It's actually
Yeah.
everything. It's the creme de la creme. It's all of it. That is everything. And we, in our free will choice, get to choose what that means for us. And that's the caveat. And we were taught growing up, whatever we were raised in, that's what we have to believe because that's what we were taught.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get to a point in your life, do I really believe that? And then
Hmm.
can I start questioning things? Can I start wondering, well, why do they do this and not do this? And yes, because we get to ask questions, of course, because we're the creators of our lives. And
Yeah.
then we get to choose what we want to believe, what resonates within us that feels right for us. That is the gateway. And at the highest level, if when people can recognize that there's really just one religion here on this planet, do you know what that religion is?
Love.
Love, exactly. Thank you. It's love. Thank you.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Exactly. And then all the other ones that we created here helped people in groups, in communities, and it's all purposeful and it's all beautiful as long as you do no harm. Anyone who does harm with the Luciferian, Satanistic, that stuff, that's still allowed in this universe because we have the polarity world. It's just going to have negative consequences because they're producing negative results. Okay, so they're also going to get a lot of negative suffering, painful, hurtful experiences that they will create for others and themselves until they can wake up to return back to the love again.
I see. I see. We're almost out of time, but let me at least get one question from the audience here. Let's see what they're thinking. Let's see what they have for Mary.
Thank you.
All right, we have an anonymous one that just came in that says, "Can other people tell us what we're missing, or do we have to find it ourselves?"
Oh, what a great question. Absolutely, other people can tell us, and we can find it ourselves. You can do both because other people are just aspects of you. What? Yeah. Yeah, they're just an aspect of you. Oh, somewhere in the wholeness part. And when you can actually admit that and thank them, yeah.
All right. Let's do one more from the audience, and then I'll give you the floor, Mary, to bring this all home for us. It's a great topic, great information today. But let's see what they say.
Betty in Las Vegas says, "Can a long-standing fear make us have a physical reaction when confronted by it?"
Absolutely. That's exactly what it does. It's exactly what it does. So fear triggers your chemistry within your body, and the chemistry within your body is going to create movements in your body. Okay. This is what we call the fight, flight, or the freeze, right?
Uh-huh.
Or you're actually passing out. I actually passed out a month ago with something that triggered me to pass out
Wow.
from not feeling connected. Yes.
See.
So your body does do that. Your body is the manifestation of your mental and emotional and energetic bodies.
Okay.
So fear is just a contracted energy, a restrictive energy. If you're restricted, what do you think your body's going to do, right? Oh, you're going to have really tight shoulders, tight
Yeah.
hips, tight back, to the level that your cells get so restricted where cancer can show up, or your high blood pressure shows up, or all kinds of other health stuff will show up to let you know that fear's just running the show. And guess what? You can change it. You don't have to have fear run the show. You can have love run the show because you are love.
Nice.
And once you recognize that, begin taking the steps. Psyche is just a very powerful, easy, and effective way to do it.
All right, guys. Mary Mazur, Mary, let me give you the last word here. Anything that you want the audience to think about, to ponder, and until next time, you have the floor, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for listening today. We did drop in a lot of beautiful nuggets here. The biggest part is that you got this. You can do this. And it's okay. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. Let yourself begin to feel. Let yourself begin to recognize the thoughts you have and the actions and the situations you're in, and that you can change anything. You can change anything into a more positive way. Just find your way. You know, Psyche may be one to help you. That's why I'm here to help. We welcome you if you do.
Mary, tell us how to get a hold of you.
Thank you. Come to my website, igniteandhealyourlife.com. Igniteandhealyourlife, life.com.
All right. Another great one. Thanks to everyone who wrote in. I'm sorry I didn't get to everyone. Mary Mazur, thank you so much. And can't wait to hear what you got to say next. Thanks.
Thank you. Next week,
You're right.
we'll see if we'll dive in with you, okay? Bye. Love you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.